Hey guys, here's the promised midweek stream, as it is a rare opportunity these days for me to pull more than one session per week. So let us cherish these rare moments where we can assemble more than once per week. And let's see if we can wrap up the story of Soul Reaver 2 this lovely evening. Man, remember when I was able to stream 2 times on a regular basis? Sometimes more, if I was ever so inclined. Yeah, working a full-time job and juggling your hobbies. It's not that easy. Sometimes you just have to make concessions, and I am blessed with enough spare time to even meet up with you all once per 7 days. Am I in offline mode? Now I am. Excellent. Radio. Current objective is to meet up with Janus, a very important vampire, as I've been told over the course of our journey through time and space. And we have an interesting looking megastructure to get through before I am able to meet this gentleman face to face. It's not gonna be that easy, is it? Not with these fools interrupting me. Every so often, I am reminded that I'm not too keen in the fighting in the Soul Reaver duology, because it feels more like a chore than something pleasant to engage in. But I do believe I've already made this point quite clear. So if I can be helped, we're just gonna run past all these guys and make our way to our destination. Hopefully I can nail this in my first attempt without too many obstacles. Whew, okay, we made it. Yeah, imagine if I had to make short stops along that entire track to engage in finding every single vampire slayer. No, thank you. looking it over how good this reflection looks and the ice texture overall. And that was on classic mode, mind you, so that was actually done for the Remastered to visually enhance this area. Like, the walls seem to have been smoothed out, but that's about it. Yep, even the carpet remains untouched. How strange to put a rug just across this small section of the hallway. Okay, suppose there's more down here, but still. A very unique taste in interior decoration. Anyway, as has been implied by the cutscene that played once we got here, in this ginormous hallway. Ginormous in a sense of vertical scale. There's only actually so much we can even see while gazing upwards. Which is a cool way of pointing to the sheer scale and how insignificant you seem in the process. But anywho, I'm gonna assume we have to follow so far a similar process of filling bowls with blood to open up new platforms slash passageways. So let's look up for empty bowls we can fill with the oh so precious red fluid. There's one over there. But I think we can easily reach. Took you just it. Of course. There are still enemies around. Why wouldn't there be? I think I'm gonna have to put this thing down, that's the case. Granted, I can still jump around while carrying it, which is neat. I can get the light reaver here. Should I need it? There's an air one over there. I'm gonna say we'll have to make a path to reach that altar. So, light reaver so far? I really need to, like, put this thing down. I'm gonna keep forgetting what's the button prompt for, unless I can put it back on its rightful place. I'm guessing not when it's full? Oh yeah, you could just pour the blood back in. But not return the object? Huh. That's a little awkward. sure it was but an arrangement for this to happen. Frankly, as strange as it may seem, it's actually easier for me to just go to the Shadow Realm and hop back in here. So we're gonna have to make some calculated moves here. Hey, what's up, Golden? What's new with you, pal? Oh yeah, there's some crystals over there we can possibly shoot. How about we give it a go? Okay. They're lit up. Now what? Is there more? Instructions not clear. Continue your investigation. Oh, hang on. There's a swinging one over there. Okay, you're not telling me I'm missing every single shot at that swinging pendulum. At least one should have connected. Or the game is arbitrarily deciding that, hey, you're not at the correct position, so you just have to be right outside of its reach. Or, possibly even more frustrating, is I just keep missing it by an inch because of wonky hit detection. That's already happened at least once throughout this playthrough, and let me tell you, I was not exactly a happy camper because those are factors outside of my control. That's not exactly something you can pin on me. I'm sorry, what I was meant to say was I missed by 10 centimeters. This is what I get for trying to appeal to an international audience. Now I'm suddenly a European trader. How you doing, bud? Are you ready to become broke again tomorrow upon the general's arrival? I sure am. I have 18k collapse pieces in storage and a dream. A dream of a doll riding a mechanical horse, boarding my Elmo. Yeah, I have to be too low for some of these shots to connect, because normally that eye would have been blinded. Uh, see a couple more over there. But again, that feels like I'm just conveniently out of reach. I definitely need to carve a path upwards. Oh, there's another one. This time dark confused. Curiously, am I allowed to even reach this spot? No. This definitely implies that I need some kind of makeshift bridge for this to happen. Ooh, I don't blame you. I squeezed out as much as I could from past story events, which I now have completed. Finished part 1 of Dawnforger just early on this afternoon, and for the first time ever, I'm officially caught up on all story-related content until part 2 drops tomorrow. So, I'm genuinely reaching that point in playing through a gacha, where I mostly am gonna just sign in to do my dailies and weeklies. And occasionally just pop in for updates to engage with the new content. I was wondering if the heat chandelier has anything to do with it, but mayhaps not. Alright, once you get to the spirit realm, nothing really changes much, does it? I wonder what that gap is for. Right above here. Maybe so you could shoot the gems from this angle if you wanted to. Already rather confounding start. But this altar's position at the very bottom strongly implies that's what I'm meant to be starting with. Plus the fact that I can actually land shots on these. It's just that I really would have expected an interaction to occur after lighting those two up, but not really, unless I gotta do it more than once. Don't know until you try. Yeah. You know, I'm noticing a pattern with a lot of these older games in particular, where they kind of expect you to double down on interacting with a particular object and repeating a sequence at least twice. Because you're like, oh, if I turn all these on gradually, surely it's going to cause interaction, right? Well, not necessarily. I guess the logic behind it is, oh, you gotta light up these crystals first so that your next shot is gonna connect both of them. Kinda. Sorta. Anyway. Boner boy. Thank you, that's exactly what I needed. Honestly, if I get Lucian into V1, R1 for these upcoming 3 weeks, I'm gonna be a happy camper, even if it puts me at absolute zero broke boy status. I'm perfectly content on skipping out the next couple of banners. A darn shame too, because I was at least hoping to get Sextons as a crew deck doll. You know, she's just there to look pretty and fancy in her Bloodborne-inspired fit. But I am not a whale, nor do I plan on spending money on anything besides costumes. And I'm gonna stick by those principles. Which my determination crumbled the moment they announced one of the Polish dorks to make a comeback, or they tease a new one coming in. A GFL2 original. Fastest turnover in history. Get a good look on that. Get a good look on that rug. We get a game. We need to advance. A floor further up. And to that end, I'm gonna need this air altar. So you go back where you belong, buddy. And we're gonna activate that boost pad down there. Ah! On the subject of Polish dorks, following up on I elaborated last stream, I have reached an agreement with the artist I reached out to, and she's put me on the August slot, so we're pretty much in the clear. Come on, Raziel. we gotta get you up even further, buddy. Surely that's not as far as you can go up, right? Or is that just for convenience sake? Maybe it is. Well, I mean, I'll take it. What do you think about Asteria? Love the Jupiter cannon in the Trigon reference. Now, whether I'm gonna pull for her? See, the problem with that is I'm kind of working on Hydro and Corrosion at the moment. Sure, if I really wanted to branch out to physical, I could, because I have a solid foundation in the shape of Yuhi. She's already at the optimal stage. Is a universal support character. But I don't know if even by the time we hit Siege of Iliad, I'm gonna be ready to think about working in the fourth element. Fair point, however, considering what they've done in Dawnforger by incorporating Yushi's event as a part of it, we might experience that at least one more time during Chiral Redundancy, so the next big one after Dawnforger. Because in between, we only really have Sexton's Banner. So if they really wanted to, they could shove in one of the three after Chiral as part of the pack, be it Mayfill, Wellrod, Phelan, you name it. Which I don't really mind as long as we are properly compensated. Anywho. I have halfway up here. Now, mate. Am I supposed to shoot that eye while ascending? What can I even do about that door at the moment, if anything? Not a whole lot. It seems like I have to open this up elsewhere. They're not even trying to pretend. They're giving you an opportunity to expand as a creator, but just like outright advertising AI chatbots. What's even the gain in that? Is it just to artificially boost numbers to farm revenue from Twitch? Is that even possible? I genuinely don't see the long-term benefits. Unless you give people like a false sense of being a greater creator than you are, so they're more willing to click on your stream. Heyo, no third, perfect timing. We are currently in the process of ascending this massive structure. Oh, wait, maybe I need to activate this bridge now. I think I should be able to nail another shot. Hey, you kick back and enjoy your time after work. I don't think I ever asked, but what do you actually do for a living? If you don't mind the inquiry. Oh, I think I have an idea. It seems a little awkward, but I think I have to shoot that in a straight line to connect the bridge. But I'm not gonna be able to pull it off on some snipe like that. Was it the light or dark projectile that blinded these guys? Pretty sure it was light one. I haven't. I do remember you talking about it though. Last time you were here. What's going on with this thing? Can't really nail a clean shot on it. I guess I'm not meant to be doing that just yet. Your guess is as good as mine, Frosty. Like, I couldn't even begin to comprehend the possible long-term profit behind hiring a bunch of view bots just to try and bait actual, real people into clicking your stream, unless it is associated with some kind of scam and the gains outweigh the costs. Would that happen to be a pseudo or swear game? Because that kind of corny writing and setting that definitely feels like one of their projects. That's an awful camera angle right there. If I want to do a long jump and then try and land on that. From which I don't think you can do, actually. Well, look at that camera just absolutely flip out. Yeah, it's not the answer. The original Alone in the Dark, right? Not gonna be able to do it from here. Not sure how I'm meant to ascend then. Interestingly, you can still reach those from here. Didn't know the projectile could hit that far. So wait, if I stand here, is that gonna be convenient? No, it's still being very picky. How about that guy over there? No? The issue is the Dark Reaver is all the way up there. So that seems unlikely. Oh, wait. I think I remember now. I believe one of the powers of the Air Reaver is that it can shatter through some surfaces. I just blanked out on that fact. So what we gotta do is infuse our blade with the power of wind, and then shoot this thing down. Yep. Definitely easier than I made it out to be. You know, speaking of the OG Alone in the Dark games, today I've been made aware that there is another video game series with the same low polygon horror aesthetic, except taking place in the medieval age. It's called Ecstatica, and apparently those games are going to be coming to Steam and GOG later this year. Oh, have you heard of them before? Because I'll be frank, this is my first time learning about the trilogy. Oh, another red shield. Oh. Whoops. Hey, now, to be fair, to be absolutely fair, it goes both ways, buddy. I'll be frank though, the one I am particularly interested in is Polar of Radiance, Ruins of Mithranor. I do recall reading a lot about that game while growing up. I just never had the opportunity to pick it up on my own. Think of it as basically one of those Infinity Engine likes of the era, so your Baldur's Gates and Planescape Torments. Except this one is a little closer in scope to the Temple of Elemental Evil by Troika, as it is turn-based. It's the real time. You're not wrong. It's difficult to imagine being scared of these kind of games while growing up because they advertise themselves as horror. But maybe it's the weirdness of the aesthetic, especially when playing on
Certainly
a lower
existed,
resolution,
those
that
blinded
made
by
it
ambition,
creepy.
those consumed with Lazaga. But here, they do not exist. Only winners and losers here. For here, the Mondays rule. Shunt 9 Kakograph.
Kakograph. Hey, what's up, Ronan? I actually did get to watch a Garfield creepypasta iceberg from a channel called
Before anything, the Asian girl in that
Shudder.
was sexy as fuck, right? Something about an older Asian. I would have fucked the daylights out of that Chinese lady. If I could fuck that Chinese lady, my life would be fucked. Fucking that Chinese lady is something. I can't fuck that Chinese woman. I almost fucked that Chinese lady on me. Yes, I would fuck that Chinese woman. Sexy Chinese women usually fuck that Chinese bitch nation. I'm quitting TikTok as that Chinese bitch broke. That Chinese slut would never see my business. Chinese bitch have stolen my heart and shit. That Chinese whore used to make me a nice but that Chinese bitch doesn't come. Chinese women are getting sexier. They used to always wear the I basically fucked that Chinese lady. This Chinese bitch is trying to seduce me. Chinese women apparently do the best. I want to fuck that Chinese lady at that donut. Chinese bitches around the world, we know that. That Chinese bitch wants to fuck me. It's official. That sexy Chinese bitch wants me to fuck her with the donuts. I want to fuck that Chinese bitch, but this bitch forgot one of the donuts. I told her, sexy Chinese bitches.
Oh, wait.
Sexy Mexican. I wouldn't fuck that Chinese bitch if fucking that Chinese bitch cured cancer. Chinese sluts are playing my emotions for me. I would fuck the older Chinese lady because she's sexy, right? She gives off some sort of sexy. Me wanting to fuck that Chinese lady is the only reason I'm off myself, right? These are not for her. Fucking that Chinese donut lady is the only thing I really desire in life right now. I really want to fuck that Chinese lady on me. I would fuck the ethnicity out of that Chinese lady. I want to fuck the Chinese lady and give her. I want to fuck the Chinese lady and elope with her in Las Vegas. I'd let the Chinese lady molest me if I was not.
Anyway, Frosty is right. That's gonna be me tomorrow when I recruit a new Chinese lady on board of my mobile base. And secondly, that Shudder channel actually has some interesting icebergs. I went through all the creepypasta image source related ones, and I plan to have a look at the disturbing noise iceberg because it's a pretty unique premise for that kind of analysis. No one has really attempted this kind of format before. Good old Voodoo. Voodoo used to be the pinnacle of video rendering technology back then. And you know what was a part of the magic of old school video cards? That box art for them. They would always make these like either weird 3D rendered models or some kind of futuristic sci-fi setting to get you entranced to buying the latest video card. Truly, it is a dying, if not already extinct, genre of marketing. Don't worry, no Fred. I'm sure you'll get an easily accessible, playable demo eventually. Do get the hype though, that game did look interesting. From the few trailers we got to see. Nope, gotta make our way conventionally, because no gliding while carrying an object. You will approach your destination slowly in an immersive fashion, and you will like it. He really is. Look, Kane. I brought pasta to the function. Very good, Raziel. You know I like my meatballs extra spicy. Which one? The one concerning the Bethesda layoffs? Because, I mean, I'm really surprised that the future of Elder Scrolls 6 is looking even more bleak than before, as if anyone already had any illusions left about that project ever coming to life and not being a massive disappointment if it eventually does. I did, in fact, and let me tell you, the public healthcare system here, the NHS, it is in shambles. Really, you could say that about a lot of UK infrastructure these days, like driving exams, which have been absolutely destroyed since COVID. Oh, by the way, an update in that regard. I managed to book a slot for mid-October. I genuinely had a stroke of luck while refreshing the website. Because the tech nowadays is, you either log in on Monday before 6 a.m., get in the queue and hope you can get a slot a couple of months in the future, or you go on the DVSA website and refresh every couple of minutes until a cancellation comes up. I went with the latter and just got a good time frame. The only downside is the next day I called my instructor and he was like, "That's great, but we got a problem here because I'm going with my family on a holiday that week, so try and find an earlier or later one if you can. I'm like, oh, brother. It's okay though, at least I have time to work with. Okay, so like before, we're gonna time our shots here with these eyeballs. Do we have to worry about this one anymore? We'll definitely need to blind that one to get the shield and open up another door. But this guy... I don't know. Anyway, let's be quick about this. So, I'll lean in as much as I can. Run away! But the question is, no third. Is Bethesda even capable of putting out a quality title anymore? I don't think so. Even with the absolute flop that was Starfield, I don't believe they've learned a lesson. So far, they seem perfectly content with just milking Fallout 76 with periodic DLCs. Now that is a game that, if anything, I would purchase for like $5, just so I can mod the hell out of it and turn it into something else altogether. Speaking of Fallout, there have been rumors floating about that Obsidian might be involved in another Fallout-related project with Joe Sawyer involved as the lead, helming it. Now, normally, with a veteran like Joe Sawyer involved, I would say that's really good. He was there in the development of New Vegas. He also worked on the Icewind Dale duology, so solid track record. Here's the thing though. Obsidian was also part of recent layoffs. And since New Vegas, there has been so much shift in personnel that barely anyone involved in New Vegas is around anymore. I don't think they have it in them to make a new quality Fallout game. Anyone here remember Avowed? No? That's what I thought. Okay, so far so good. We already climbed up pretty high. There's another skeleton over there with a shield. So we'll probably have a mirror on this side. Yep. Wait, which one was Project GG? Can you refresh my memory? Oh, there we go. This is where we have to make a trick shot with our ball of light. And let's make another bridge. So, you guessed it, we gotta go all the way down, infuse our blade with light, and then pull back up. Does make you appreciate the AirPods over here that let you advance faster. It is a neat convenience. Oh, I didn't actually even activate that one. How about we correct it since I'm here? There's no telling how longer I'm gonna be spending here, so might as well. Oh, it used to be another Kamiya project. Interesting. I knew about Scalebound, but not so much the other one. Big kaiju battles. That would have been cool. It's not outside of Kamiya's scope because wonderful 101 and Beautiful Joe already play into the superhero aspect, so Kaijus would be logically the next evolution. I really hate to be bleak about video game developers tonight, but Bethesda, Obsidian, Platinum, they're not doing too hot. They really aren't. You know what? Good. We absolutely need a restart button pressed. So all the AAA studios can fuck off unless they actually start putting effort into their production and better treatment of subsidiary studios. Because indie devs and a lot of AA groups are gonna be fine. Like, if you want me to bring up a positive example, look at Owlcat, the studio behind the Pathfinder games, recently Warhammer, Rogue Trader. They've consistently been putting highly praised RPGs developed with a love for old school titles like your Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dales, to draw once again on that comparison. And people love them. I'm actually looking forward to trying some of their catalog myself. Eventually. Probably starting off with Pathfinder. Although, Boltgun did put me in a bit of a Warhammer 40k appreciation mood, so who knows? Okay, that's another bridge I have to make. Just gotta find the right angle to connect those gems. That one I can't really reach from where I am just yet. Don't seem to have a viable method of getting there. Let's have a better look from here. Because this thing is blocking the two gems. So we'd have to do it from a different angle, I believe. Let's go just shoot them from here. Not really. That should be okay. No? Does it have to be from over there? Okay, that one's already activated. Can't really do anything more. Oh, hang on. I see another option available. Yield your shield. Well, that opened up this place nicely. Now, next potential step could be filling up some bowls with spaghetti. The one problem with that is I don't think we have a feasible way of bring one over here just yet. Actually, no, we do. Yoink. Frosty, if you're happy to be around, I have a funny story to tell. Not sure if you're aware, but Deep Purple recently released a new album called Splat. And while we were driving to work today, my dad told me that he actually looked it up and gave it a listen. And he's telling me, you know, I can't believe they actually replaced the main vocalist with a new guy, and I don't like the way he sings. So I'm just taken aback, like, what? Ian Gillan retired? My dad's like, oh, supposedly he's touring on his own these days. And I had to look it up, because surely I would have heard if Ian Gillan left Deep Purple to pursue his solo career or just retire from the music industry, period. And he is listed as the vocalist for Splat. And while I was listening through the album, which pretty much follows modern day Deep Purple format, it's solid. Not fully to my liking, because I do prefer old school Purple, but as I was listening through it, a realization struck me. My dad probably hasn't heard much of Ian Gillan since old school Deep Purple, and he just didn't recognize his voice. In his thought, it was a completely different vocalist. And I get that, because the dude's voice has changed into more husky tone. So if you never heard much of Purple and you were gave different songs from different eras, you wouldn't be able to pick up that that's Ian Gillan singing on both tracks immediately. It does. It's just the fact that due to wear and tear and just age in general, a lot of lead singers either lose their pitch or their voice just changes because of all the abuse they put their vocal cords through. For what it's worth, Rob Halford of Judas Priest still kicks ass and holds up really good. Their last album, Invincible Shield, great. The title track is awesome. Crown of Horns is a great melody. So if I were to fill this one up, I'm guessing that part would connect. The one issue here is that no straight path. And that will mean I have to now connect these two. Apparently it needs to be from over there. Maybe I need the wind power to move that, or outright destroy the thingamabob. Well, despite some initial hurdles, this place has been pretty okay so far in terms of puzzle progression. Frankly, it's a compliment that throughout the course of the game I can honestly give Soul Reaver, in the sense that there's been a nice spacing and mix to these sequences, even when compared to the first game. Actually, the predecessor was mostly just block puzzles. There wasn't really much variety to them to begin with. I am a genius. There's a strong sense of satisfaction once you manage to come to a decent conclusion on your own and just watch all the pieces align. That being said, now we should be able to fill up the final bell. We'll go through here to there. Yep. Just as I expected. And that actually might take us to the Vampire's mausoleum. How nice of this denizen of a long-lost race capable of flight to actually even entertain the notion of making this long-winded contraption to let lesser species be able to ascend for an audience if they had the patience and capabilities. To put 2 and 2 together. Anyhow, I do believe we're in for some exposition. So let us brace ourselves. As Razia does his nonchalant walk routine. The strut of a true protagonist.
Janus Audrin? It is heartening after all these years to hear my name spoken without contempt.
Now that's a design straight out of
My
SMT.
child, what have they done to you? I have been dragged through hell and back. All it seems to reach this moment.
You could tell me that
I
that
don't get
guy
why?
is a Megami angel,
For
and I would believe you.
thousands of years I have waited, alone here, losing faith. At the time of the binding, 9 guardians were called to serve the pillars, and I was summoned as the 10th guardian, the keeper of the Reaver, the weapon.
This is gonna be
of our
Michael in
salvation.
SMT6.
Over time, our race died out, until I alone remained, sustained only by my obligation to you and by my guardianship of the blade.
And the other 9? Why did their guardianship not sustain them?
I don't know. As our race dwindled, the humans prospered. I have watched over the centuries as our history faded into myth and finally receded altogether. The humans have forgotten us entirely and claimed the pillars for themselves, wholly ignorant of their true purpose. To them, I am merely a devil, the origin of their vampire plague.
Why would the pillars summon human guardians then, if they are meant to be served by vampires?
The pillars choose their guardians from birth, Raziel, and vampires are no longer born. This is the crux of our dilemma, and this is the terrible irony. With their vampire purge, the members of the Circle have assaulted the very architects of the pillars they are sworn to protect. They have embarked on a treacherous path. With every vampire they kill, the humans are slitting their own throats. They know I'm up here, beyond their reach, and it terrifies them. You can see how they flaunt their kills to torment me, or perhaps simply to lure me out. They have this foolish notion that destroying me will somehow topple our entire bloodline. Thankfully, we're not that fragile.
I've seen them mustering their forces in the village below.
Yes. I don't know what they're plotting, but I fear our time may be bitterly short.
Mankind seems to have brought you only torment and grief. You must hate them.
They fear what they don't understand, and they despise what they fear. But no, I do not hate them.
Vorador does.
He has suffered much. He cannot forgive them.
Should they be forgiven?
They don't understand what they're doing. They are simply unenlightened and vulnerable to manipulation.
So, it's all true then. What Cain and Vorador have told me. I really am some kind of unholy vampire messiah.
Unholy? No. Messiah, perhaps.
I don't like that word. It smells of martyrdom.
Raziel, your role in this world's destiny is more crucial and more benevolent than you've allowed yourself to believe. Your journey will not be easy. Dark powers are allied.
Oh, that much we figured out already. Everyone's
I think
conspiring
you
against one another.
already know this. You appear to have been cruelly tested. The binding must be secured, Raziel. The pillars are the lock.
And the Reaver is the key.
Yes.
The Reaver is here. Why do I feel nothing?
The most formidable weapon ever forged by our swordsmiths. They infused the blade with vampiric energy, empowering the Reaver to drain our enemies of their precious lifeblood.
Making
As
it mechanically
Janos
the
presented the
strongest
blade,
weapon in the game.
An inexplicable sense of dread crept over me, more palpable than anything I'd felt before. I was at once horribly repelled by the sword, and yet irresistibly compelled to touch it, to take it up.
How many more Reavers are we gonna absorb from different timelines?
Take it away from me.
I fear you have been followed. You must save yourself, Raziel.
Janos!
Oh, the irony of carving that entire path just so we could possibly doom Janos.
My surroundings whirled sickeningly, and I found myself transported safely away from the ambush to an adjacent chamber. Janos had delivered me from the Sarafan, selflessly forfeiting his own safety to preserve my life. And now I feared that my newfound mentor would be slaughtered by the very crusaders I had so recently revered. The irony pierced me, and with dawning horror, I realized that I had been duped by Mobius from the beginning. For the Sarafan had simply followed the path I gullibly blazed through this sanctuary, and had arrived bearing Mobius' staff. Thus armed, they had Janos at their mercy. Through the door, I could hear them battling, less than a dozen paces away. But it may as well have been 1,000 miles, for this barrier was sealed by elemental forces I did not possess.
Let me
It
guess.
seemed Janos had conveyed me into the heart of the fire shrine.
It is indeed fire.
I thought perhaps if I could galvanize the forge and imbue the Reaver in time, I might have a slim chance of saving Janos from his grisly fate.
Boy, I sure hope this temple is not a town, because if it takes me like 2 hours to get through this stage, it's gonna be long dead by then. Well, there's gonna be shenanigans involved. However, I do like the vibes this place is giving off with the different aspects of lighting. Like that little bit piercing through the stained glass, trying to eliminate the massive hole. The main part of which is submerged in darkness and like a gloomy mist. Great atmosphere. Spool blood looks weird though. Then again, that is a whole texture that I haven't done much with. I can be a torchbearer if I want to. Do I? Well, we're gonna have to assess. there's a lot going on up there. Definitely need to light up that cauldron over there. Now, if I remember right, going into the Shadow Realm nullifies any Soul Reaver imbuement I have on me. So if I fluff this up, I won't be able to return easily. There's more torches over there. Yeah, you scratch your head in my place, because I think how we want to approach this sequence. Nope, nope. Overshot. Right, interestingly, unlike the other temples, it seems we only have this room to work with. So it's a rather self-contained, yet still elaborate puzzle. The light one will definitely need to take a shot at that crystal. Oh. I'm gonna say if we light up the other pots, depending how many of them there is, these will start descending down so I can actually interact with them. So until I do that, can't really progress. So far I see only one. Cauldron on the opposite end. Actually, no, there's one up there as well. So the question is, how do we go from there to here? This is a stretch, but I won't hurt to give it a try. Oh? Well, that's rather unexpected. Although it makes sense for the terms of progression. Oh dear. I think landing a bunch of consecutive jumps wouldn't be that difficult, but it's the consistency that's tricky. See, I'm trying to move forward, but he just jumps up and doesn't follow up with a dive forward. Ah. Okay, I see where we're going with this. Kinda. See what happens once I take the light from this one. Not much, actually. Wait, do I have to now snuff out the fire before I move on? Oh wait, no. I can access the light platform. Where's that crystal? feeling I know what I gotta do. Yeah, that's a perfectly sensible drain mechanism. Oh, you gotta be fast though. Yeah, don't give you a whole lot of time to work with. Maybe I can do it closer to the air altars so I don't have to run all the way. That works. Again, pretty clever use of already existing mechanics in a new, not done fashion. Boy, I sure hope these strong gusts of winds do not disrupt the flame of the torch I'll have to hold all the way through. Be quite a shame. Okay. I totally should have reached it. Oh, Razia, you slippery fish. Here's what I have to do, just make sure I reach the peak of each air boost and then gradually hover. Is indeed the trick. Right, now that we've done that, what do you demand of me now, game? Looks like I'm still missing something. I have to shoot the crystal again with the light magic? And to what end? I believe I am required to take a torch and bring it all the way over there to the beginning, where the statue is. Makes sense? Lighting the forge of the flame. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, this camera. Stripping out. I think we got it though. Hell yeah. And now not only that one, but all the 5 shrines of the world have been activated. If only I streamed this game on the 4th of July, this would have been an epic moment. You could pretend when you're shooting a bunch of fireworks. Yeah, jam your hand down there. And the care in the world. Da da da. Oh, we made it past Janus already. We got the
Plunge the Reaver
Flame
into
Reaver.
that furnace and forge the blade with elemental fire. With the Reaver thus imbued, I was now armed to unlock the elemental barrier and rescue Janos from his executioners.
Interesting how this used to be the only imbuement in the original game and it was kind of afterthought. There wasn't much you could do with it besides lighting enemies on fire. Still much appreciated. Oh, that I didn't know. Then again, Soul Reaver is just packed with talent. Legend after legend. So we are conveniently too late as this lunatic. There's some bowels, Janos. Oh, look at that face.
His black heart. How it still beats.
Oh, that is a face. Wait, is that supposed to be us? Oh shit.
The fiend intends to bury us alive.
Time paradox.
Raziel, we must get out of here. Remember the sword.
I imagine it would have been fatal to
Forgive me.
the fate of this timeline if
sorry.
our swords even so much as brushed against one another.
No, Razia. Perhaps this was my true purpose. Simply to
You love
save
how
your
the
life
ear is clipping
is
through his massive claw.
What I have taken yours.
Embrace your destiny, Razia. You must reclaim the Reaver. It was forged for you and you alone. Without it, there is no hope.
I gotta hand it to him. He survived pretty long with his heart ripped out.
As I backed away from Janos's body, I was overwhelmed by a sense of self-loathing so deep I could barely contain it. In that instant, I rejected all that I ever was, and embraced the role Janos had safeguarded for me so patiently throughout the centuries. I knew then what I had to do, the task for which I was uniquely prepared. I would pursue the Sarafan dogs to their loathsome fortress and avenge Janos Audrin's murder. Mobius would pay dearly for his treachery, and my Sarafan brethren would reap the horrors they had sown. I would retake the stolen Reaver, which was rightfully mine. And finally, when all these debts had been paid, I would reclaim Janos Audrin's heart from their filthy, unworthy hands. If the heart was truly imbued with the power to restore vampiric unlife, its highest purpose was clear to me. I would restore the heart to Janos, and thus undo the vile crime committed by my abominable former self.
I love how that rubble just instantly appeared and pushed him off the cutscene. Not the smoothest transition. Well, boys, looks like we're backtracking all the way to the beginning, where it all started, because, yay, video game tropes.
We've been expecting you, little Razia.
So, these demonic pests were not merely the product of Nosgoth's corrupted future, for here they were, hurtling back over 5 centuries to pursue me. These creatures, I suspected, were minions of the unseen forces that had hoped to control me. This was the tangible expression of their displeasure. These demons were unleashed as the penalty for my
Oh, now we actually get the lore explanation for these unholy demons chasing me. Boy, sure would be a shame if through all the way back to the Sarafan Fortress I encountered numerous instances of these guys. I don't really care all that much with my Reaper by my side. clear ripoffs once again.
You can say, Noskov. Let me enlighten you, poor Raziel.
It's the first time when we're sent to the future by Mobius that we get a taste. And oh boy, are they an absolute pain in the backside to dispatch. Would be definitely a good time to save. It's pretty brutal because the first time you fight these monstrosities, it is a massive difficulty spike as opposed to fighting Seraphon hunters. Okay, should be one more, and then the path will unlock. This is actually going to be padding in its finest. If we're going to be facing this kind of resistance all the way back to the start, with no possibility to just warp.
There's another one. Come here, you devil.
Yeah, not the fun of them splattered between regular mobs. I mean, I guess the humans are kind of just there to let you regenerate health in between brawls, but at that point I would just rather honestly retreat to the Shadow Realm and gain health easier. Oh, that's a particularly big boy. Voiced by none other than Tony J. Good news, we should be almost out of this mountain range. Bad news is we'll end up by the swamp. Awfully quiet down here. I don't particularly mind it. I will take a leisurely stroll back to the castle grounds. Just have to make sure I'm not looping. Oh, of course I wouldn't be let off the hook that easily.
You shall not pass.
Okay, Gandalf. This would have actually been around the time as the first Lord of the Rings movie. So if they snuck in a bold reference, good on you, video game devs. So a lot of shadow creatures want to fight. Listen, guys, I just wanna get back to the old one's temple, if you don't mind. Yeah. Here comes the part where I actually make use of all these shrines I didn't get to before. Yeah, I'm gonna kick the bucket soon enough, but as long as I can get my bearings by next revival point, it's no big deal. Fire shrine, do I need it? Is that just for variety's sake? I actually don't know until I start climbing and check. Give a little more until we hit the temple proper, and I'll be able to save there. wonder if he'll have anything to say to us after what we've been through just now. Got any witty quips on ya, Tony J. Squid?
You have failed me, Raziel.
I wonder, Old One, did you truly resurrect me, or were you simply there when I awakened from my torment in the abyss? I suspect you found me merely convenient, dropped in your lair by Cain, indestructible for some reason, a durable and gullible tool for you to manipulate. This one thing I readily admit. I have been used by others time and again, but always I seem to stray from their path. What is it about me, demon, that makes me such an unreliable instrument? Why do I survive one trial after another, on and on, in an endless succession of humiliating deaths and resurrections? It seems there is much more to my destiny and my history than I know. Perhaps more than you know as well.
Did he really have a retort to that now, did he? Well, while we're slowly making our way back to the Seraphan hideout, I have recently finished Twin Peaks: The Return, the third season that came 25 years after the release of the original 2 in the movie, and I gotta say, it was probably my favorite Twin Peaks related piece of media, just for the crazy visuals and special effects. Like, it really set out to make some magnificent set pieces in a bizarre David Lynch fashion. As far as the plotline goes, it was kind of a mixed bag like season 2 was. There were some strong parts and some aspects that I didn't like. So it was a strong beginning, I would say, and an interesting finale with too much going on in the middle ground. Like, see, the problem with Twin Peaks is, by definition, it was a show that made fun of old school dramas with how padded out they were. And Twin Peaks also tends to meander on some plot lines or extend scenes for the sake of a comedic effect. Like, you can have a sequence where a guy just sweeps the floor for a couple minutes straight, and nothing significant comes out of it. Sadly, you could tell that there was definitely a lot of ambition there, and potential for maybe another follow-up. But for what it is, I guess it's the charm of Twin Peaks, the way that it ends on a cliffhanger and unresolved main narrative. It definitely shed more light than the original 2 did. But there is a lot to like about the mystery.
He thinks he can change his destiny. What a fool.
Oh, hey, they actually kind of go away for a minute. Anyway, I'm gonna try and become material once more. To have another try to find him. Oh, no, no, no. You are thinking of Steel Ball Run there, my friend, where Jesus' corpse is actually involved as a Deus Ex Machina. Need to peep some of other Lynch's works these days. Now that I'm done with Twin Peaks. One of my first exposure to David Lynch was Eraserhead, his very first movie, and that in its own is a very intriguing experimental piece, which I strongly recommend if you're into unusual novel cinema. But I did hear that he has a couple of other good movies under his belt, like Mulholland Drive, Lost Highway. So I do think I'll be looking into those. And yes, something you would not expect in regards to David Lynch is that he did direct the first movie adaptation of Dune, which sure is something. I am so glad I definitely decided to check out Twin Peaks, because not only is it a great TV show, which I would consider at this point to be one of my absolute favorites ever, once you actually peep it, you will understand so many media that take inspiration from Twin Peaks, be it subtly or more directly. More subtle notes, like even the Velvet Room in the Persona series. That wouldn't exist without Lynch's influence. Oh, I need to might as well not do it, sorry. Fortunately, we have the means right here. Based on personal experience, I can wholeheartedly recommend Twin Peaks and Razorhead to you. Ooh, look at that intriguing visual effect of the ice reflection in the water. Anywho, I imagine I still need to open up the gate with another light shot, so let's just do that. Now this design layout makes so much more sense with how far we've gone. You would question why all these pieces are here when you can't really use them, but now it all comes together. And back we are.
There's one.
Nah, I'm not fighting those enchanters that are gonna be running away. If these guys happen to kill me, I don't mind. So I'll just use that opportunity to regenerate my husk. Seeing the entrance is right here. We should have a revival point close by.
Here it comes.
No, better make a run for it, because, oh boy, those projectiles hurt.
Seize him.
That wasn't too bad. Unless I can't go this way.
Suddenly and inexplicably, I discovered the Reaver suspiciously laid across my
That
path.
screams trap.
Again, I sensed nothing of that temporal distortion.
That
the peculiar
screams
sense of
like a
displacement
trap.
I had felt when I encountered the Reaver in William's chapel. Cornered here with the blade, I suffered the same nameless dread that I had experienced when Janos first presented the Reaver to me. I felt at once repelled by the blade, and yet overwhelmingly compelled to seize it.
So, Raziel, here we are finally. You have no choice but to confront me now. And I am not so foolish as I've let you believe. We have business to conclude.
You knew I would lead the Seraphim to Janos, you vile bastard. You've been orchestrating my every move. My destiny is an amusement to you.
It was fun while it lasted. I think not, Raziel. Malik, do not let this creature leave.
Ooh, the same Malik from the first game?
Poor, deluded Raziel.
No, that's a throwback.
Somehow imagine you had the guile to change history on me. I'm the time streamer. I knew your every intention before you did.
Damn streamer, big deal. I'm a Twitch streamer, I'll have you know.
Lord Mobius, there is trouble within. The circle is under
Hold
attack.
fast, Malik. This one is the real danger to us.
What are you trying to concoct here, Mobius?
You toxic creature. Did you imagine I'd simply allow you to run loose? Corrupting everything you encounter.
I admit that I've underestimated you to this point, Mobius. It's a mistake I won't repeat.
Wrong again, Razia. Now, Malik, bolt the door.
Using his staff to disable my Wraithblade, Mobius effectively disarmed me, leaving me with only one choice of weapon. And yet I confess, it was not the lack of options, but blind rage that made me take up the Reaver. In my fury, it felt as though my hand had acted of its own will. And now, that same hand clutched the hilt with unyielding strength, and I felt a constrained tingling, a remote but palpable sense of longing, as the disabled Wraithblade tried vainly to embrace its physical twin.
Yeah, after all we've been through, it certainly feels strange to be able to call the real thing. I was thinking of that too. That during our confrontation, this all lined up with the Blood Woman, Blood Omen 1 timeline. Blood Woman. That's the Not Safe for Work spin-off. Don't look it up.
Come to take your revenge, demon.
Back to hell with you!
I recognize these two as my former brethren, in life as Sarafan, and in unlife as Cain's vampire sons. Melchiah and Zephon, the weakest of Cain's brood. These bastards had no idea what future lay in store for them, how they would become the very thing they so despised. The Reaver hummed with ravenous anticipation.
Well, not unless we
Janos
erase
had
them
called it
from
a vampiric blade,
the universe
endowed with the
completely.
power to drain its victims of their lifeblood. I was eager to see what the Reaver would do to these two.
I don't think they're able to harm me while this is happening. My health pool is not dwindling at all. So I can kind of just wail them as I please. Now let's deal with the swordsman first, because he doesn't guard nearly as much. Gosh. Oh, even with blocking and sidestepping, this is such a drag. Especially when I'm getting hit from Both sides. Yeah, now that you have no friend to help you, can't lock me in hit stun that consistently. Feel compelled to lock in anymore.
As Melchiah and Zephon fell before my blade, I felt the Reaver's bloodthirst as keenly as I ever had when I was still a vampire. I could sense the boundary between us dissolving. The Reaver was consumed with my rage, and I was intoxicated by its bloodlust. The blade had a vitalizing effect on me. My physical energy no longer decayed over time.
Well, that explains the
wounds
immortality.
inflicted by my foes healed almost instantly. The Reaver had made me invincible.
Now the power of fantasy creeps in its fullest. How foolish of Mobius to let me lay my hands on the actual physical Reaver blade.
Have you come to reclaim the monster's black heart?
You'll have to get to us first.
My former brethren, Duma and Rahab, confronted me next. This all seemed so elegantly choreographed. Exhilarated by the Reaver, I was drunk with revelations. I could finally appreciate the delicious irony of Cain's blasphemous private joke, and I reveled as I colluded with him across the centuries. For it was I who put these bastards in their tomb, thus providing the corpses for Cain to raise as his vampire sons.
Yo, Georgia, we'll see soon enough. It seems like we're approaching the conclusion of this epic tale as I bumble through the game's very wonky combat system. How you doing, buddy? I hope you had a great birthday, by the way. Happy one to you. One down. This is so much cleaner of an encounter compared to the previous copy-paste one.
Get back to the pit.
Here's the thing, I actually enjoy the linear pacing a little more because it doesn't feel like it wastes your time as much as the first game. Although I see how people would enjoy the hub world and the collected fun format.
Even as a vampire, I guess some habits die hard. The vampire Tyrell had eluded my vengeance. The Sarafan Tyrell would not.
He's just like the previous guy, except instead of purple, he wears green. box puzzles. There was generally maybe one instance in the entirety of Soul Reaver 2 that required me to push a single block. I think they really took the complaints from the first game to heart. They were like, yeah, we really gotta dial down on those. I do respect the greater variety though. I've yet to check out Defiance. I've seen people have very positive reception of the remaster, so I'm hopeful when I get to it eventually. Oh shit.
Here we are.
Well, this is awkward.
And now you've come for me. You'll find I'm not such easy prey.
Man, handsome human Raziel is Uncanny Valley territory.
So, you've come to avenge that filthy parasite and reclaim his foul heart. You're a righteous fiend, aren't you? Apparently I am. No, vampire. This is where it ends. But you won't be leaving this room. Now, let's finish this. I'll make it mercifully quick. As you did for Janos? No, that beast had eluded us for far.
I can't believe they had Michael Bell stand in front of a mirror in the recording booth. And there these lines back to back.
Turned out to be no challenge at all. Thanks to you. Did you hear his cowardly screams when I tore that black heart out of his carcass?
Something, how it heals to undergo depression and just really hate yourself. Taking, battling your own inner demons to a whole new level. Ain't doing a whole lot for all this shit talking. Got him locked in with that rushdown tech. Check out these block strings. Oh, that looked like it was gonna hit him right between the legs.
So it ends. My history comes full circle. Sensing its twin, the Wraithblade uncoiled itself from me, and instead wound lovingly around its former self. I felt its grip loosen, and as the blade left me, its absence chilled me more than its presence ever had. A foreboding sense of emptiness and loss stole over me, and a terrible revelation gathered like a storm at the edge of my awareness.
Man,
With all other
Michael
foes
Bell's range is
exhausted,
so impressive.
the
He can
conjoined
go
blades
from
turned themselves
melancholic
on me,
to pissed
and I
off
realized,
seamlessly.
finally, why I had sensed nothing when Janos offered me the blade. The Reaver was never forged to be a soul-stealing weapon. The ravenous, soul-devouring entity trapped in the blade was, and always had been, me.
We
This
were the
is why
Soul
blade
Reaver
was
all
destroyed
along.
when Cain tried to strike me down. The Reaver could not devour its own soul. The paradox shattered the blade. So, this was my terrible destiny. To play out this purgatorial cycle for all eternity. I could not bear it. Despair overwhelmed me. You. Are you enjoying this game?
Don't fight it, Raziel. Give into it.
Was this your destiny for me all along?
Trust me.
I felt myself weakening, unable to hold on any longer. The Reaver was too strong. The compulsion to simply let go, too great. And then...
Listen, I may have revived you from the dead, made you my loyal brainwashed servant, and then the moment you outmatch me in the evolution game, I cast you in the bottomless pit.
The glimmer of
But you gotta trust me,
temporal
Raziel.
Cain had been counting on all along. This was the edge of the coin, the minute flicker of probability upon which Cain had gambled everything.
Now you are free to reclaim your true destiny, Raziel.
Behind Cain's eyes, I could see new memories blooming and dying as history labored to reshuffle itself around this monumental obstruction. And I could see by the dawning horror on his face that perhaps we had strained history too far this time. That by trying to alter my fate, he may have introduced a fatal paradox.
My God.
Which one? There's a couple of them in this universe.
We walked right into their trap. Raziel. Janos must stay.
We gotta send you back to the
But
past
Cain's
again.
warning was lost as I slipped into the spirit realm, too weak to maintain my physical form. And there, waiting for me as always, was the Reaver, the Wraithblade, my own soul, twinned and bound eternally to me. And I realized that I could never escape my terrible destiny. I had merely postponed it. History abhors a paradox.
That's the face of a man who goes, it really do be like that. Ooh man, that was a development I did not expect. Well, no matter how you look at it, Nazgûl, it's still kind of fucked. Always was. Never will be. No, up to this point I only really played the original Blood Omen. That's what finally got me to eventually trying the rest of the games. Which I imagine will all gradually head over to Steam as remastered versions. So yeah, Defiance will happen at some point. As for Soul Reaver, I like the second one a little bit better than the first one because it had more consistent pacing, better puzzles, and I kind of like that they ditched away the magic system, which didn't do a whole lot in the first instance, instead embracing power-ups for the Soul Reaver. That's a shame. Well, I always post links to when I'm streaming in Discord, so you could always be on the lookout whenever you're online. But yeah, once I start Defiance, I will definitely ping you, brother. Rest assured. Because, yeah, I mean, the narrative is definitely the main draw in the Legacy of Kain series. And I'm glad I finally got to try out Soul Reaver because even if it's gonna be like a one and done kind of deal, like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this is not exactly a format that encourages replayability for me. Getting introduced to Raziel, his backstory, and all the exposition between him, Kain, Mobius, everyone else, that was a treat. It was like watching a good movie unfold. So thank you, Emmy Henning, for this great contribution to storytelling as a whole. It really doesn't, because it's pretty much a straight line from the beginning to the end, with some pacing back and forth depending where the game wants you to go next. The only thing that changes is just the environment based on the timeline you're in. So yeah, I could tell that some people enjoy the first one more because it's got that option to explore the world freely with your own pacing. The only like real block being how far you're into the main story and how much you can unlock. I was a little surprised that there weren't any boss fights in this iteration. And then again, there were pretty much standard platformer puzzles. Thank you for the Gex team. Yeah, I mean, once you remember that this was built on Gex DNA, all the problems associated with Soul Reaver makes so much more sense. And it also explains why the combat is the way it is. It's a means to an end. It's just there for variety's sake. I wouldn't have minded it as much if the fighting was minimal, like from the beginning of Soul Reaver 2, where it's just a couple of dudes here and there. Not the volume by the end, though. No, that was too much. Like, you were actually incentivized to just run past them instead of engage. Kind of surprising how, in comparison, Blood Omen 1, the original, despite all of its innate jank, still had a much more enjoyable format in that sense than the Soul Reaver games. So yeah, if I were to grade these, B minus Soul Reaver 1, this one is a solid B. Well, we don't really have much in the way of Soul Reaver anymore. Or rather, Blood Omen do we? There's Defiance, Blood Omen 2, whenever that eventually gets to remaster, since they're going through all of them steadily. And the platformer that... I don't know about that one, Chief. I was so hopeful because the pixel art direction there is amazing. But the actual plotline, oof. I've seen snippets of it and it's not particularly reassuring. You're not talking about the one that was cancelled, do you? And repurposed into another game that didn't even see the light of day as Nosgoth. I think that's the one that No Third brought up at some point during Story River 1. Maybe one day we'll get a new good piece of Legacy of Kain media. It's kind of a shame to think that, well, with how aged the original voice actors are, the 2D platform might have been their last appearance. I mean, it's still cool that they got him together for one last hurrah, but still, oh, I mean, you would have loved to see a good continuation of this franchise, which is growing on me. If Blood Omen got me drawn in, this pretty much reinforced my love for Nosgoth as a setting and all these amazing characters that spawn from it. So yeah, Defiance will surely happen, and thank you all for joining me on this crazy adventure. I mean, sucks for Raziel because he's eternally bound to his duty as a Soul Reaver, but I guess he gets a cool sword out of it. It's technically immortal too, which may or not be a blessing depending how you look on it. We shall see where this goes in Defiance. But until then, I will see you all again on Saturday for more Bolt Gun. And next week I should also be able to stream midweek, just like tonight. So hopefully I'll be able to start a new game. Or you know what I want to do? So I'm gonna set it up, see if there's no technical issues, and hopefully it will come to be. Anyways, thank you guys. Shorter stream than anticipated, but I guess we didn't have that much to clear through. So I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my evening before I hit the hay. Take it easy.